Welcome to the next step of the Lewisia flower. Before we start painting the red color, I would like to add a little yellow color. I'm using the Freya Copic fine tip brush to do it. This is quite a small brush. I'm painting it in the same layer as we've painted the dark pink color. We'll add it to make it look like streaky lines and more natural. Brush it in a fan shape. This will leave streaky stroked lines. Add a little bit, don't overdo it. Just enough to see that the yellow color is spreading out. Observe the original picture as well. The yellow color spreads almost up to the middle in some petals. In some petals, the yellow color doesn't spread out a lot. It spreads out like a streaky line. Wherever the lines are obvious, just follow the lines. Follow the original. You can notice that even though I'm doing long brush strokes, I'm following the pattern that I've traced earlier. It's clearer now. Add it little by little. Emphasize where it's obvious. Okay, it's done. Let's continue with the red color. I'll add a layer and rename it Shadow 2. Click Clipping Mask. Choose the red color. This color is a bright pinkish red. I'm now emphasizing the middle of the petal. Check the original picture to see which parts need to be red, but don't cover all the dark pink we did in the previous episode. We'll emphasize only the pattern lines. Don't put pressure on. Gradually adding the color is the safest way. If you're rushing to make the clear lines, it won't look realistic. It will look unnatural. Observe the original. I'm not adding a lot. The pink color is still our main color. This is just adding the color to make it brighter. Paint it along with the petals' patterned lines. The brush we're using shouldn't be too big. Emphasize where it's the dark pink area, especially where the petals are at the back. It's quite dark there. I want you to observe when I'm painting the red color. I'm painting it over the dark pink color and leaving the part we did not paint the dark pink. It's like emphasizing the dark pink color and leaving the rest as is. This red color is like the shadow of dark pink, so we don't paint it in the light pink area. Because if we paint the red color in the light pink area, it will look like a bruised petal. The visual weight is not right. The petal will look bruised and weird. We don't use a big brush. Actually, I'm using a pretty small brush and emphasizing the pattern lines. After adding the red color, you can really see that it has even more dimension now. The details on our flower look clearer. Look, the depth is really obvious. This is not the end. The next step is to make patterned lines clearer on another level. We'll continue with more detail. I told you this course is good. My focus is on in-depth teaching. After that, I'll let you continue adding the detail with the red color. See you again at the next step. Okay, the next color we're going to use is the brownish-orange, which we'll paint by the inner part of the petal where it is underneath the pollen. The color is quite dark. Use a small brush to slowly paint by the edges at the inner part. Don't overdo it. Otherwise, the petal will look bruised. Also, cover all the yellow color that we did. Don't paint it too much. Be gentle and careful with this part. After that, I'll choose this yellow color and darken it a little to add a little bit of a black and brown tint. Then adjust it to have a bit of orange tint and paint it as a lighter shadow by the inner petal. Observe the original picture and see where to add the color. Don't overdo it. Be careful not to cover all of the light yellow areas. When it's done, I'll choose the color from the petal where it's orange to add some here. Make it look a bit darker. Okay, after that I'll add a layer and rename it Detail. Click the clipping mask too. Now choose the red color from the petal and darken it. Then use a small size of the Copic fine tip brush and paint it along the pattern lines we've sketched. Don't put too much, we don't want very clear lines. I'm gradually stroking it to make it clearer. Stroke it along your sketched lines. Because our sketched lines are pretty clear, this step should be easy. I want you to notice the opacity of my brush. That is set to only 60 to 70%, and I'm using a pretty small brush here. Blend the color out if the streaks become too sharp. Now I'll choose the dark pink color and use it to extend the lines by the outer part of the petals. The color is not that dark here, that's why we're using dark pink instead of red. Then back to the red and paint it along the red lines. Take your time, take it easy. Be gentle on the thinner lines. I'll emphasize some parts like the inner area which has red color. Then release the pressure by the outer part where the lines become thinner. Be gentle where the lines become thin. Emphasize the thick lines. Apply pressure, release, repeat. Be gentle, especially at the end of the petals. We're almost done with the petals. Take your time. Drag the brush along the lines and try to be gentle when you reach the end of the petals. Keep going and I'll see you at the next step. Okay, our petals are almost done. To make it complete, we must add white color. Let's add a layer and rename it Light. Don't forget the clipping mask part. Choose the Freya Copic fine tip brush and choose the Yellowish Beige. Brighten the color a little. Then let's paint it along the white part of the edges. We'll do the white after we're done with this color. I want you to put more pressure on the edge here to make the color clearer and sharper. Brush it along the lines. It's coming together now! You'll see that the color is almost white already. Well, look at that! Apply some pressure on the edges so you'll have clear and sharp lines. Then blend the color. Brush it gently. Put pressure and slowly paint it. Keep going. Put the pressure and release the pressure. Where it's a light color, release the pressure. Where the color needs to be emphasized, put more pressure. It has its own rhythm. The color is light at the end of the petals. Do you remember that when we painted this part where it's bulging, you must add the highlight? Slowly brush in the same direction. Now our petals are almost done. Highlight it wherever it's exposed to the light. This is one of my favorite steps. I like adding highlights. It feels like the petals have a 3D effect, popping up from the screen. Keep brushing. You can see that I emphasize the edges. The reason it's obvious is that I apply the pressure. Then I gently brush it in the same direction, just like what we practiced before. The Lewisia's petals have a light color on the sides that almost looks white, but we'll get to that after we're done with the beige color. I won't put white color directly. Instead, I'll gradually lighten it. These are the tips that show why when I paint the colors on the petals, they look so smooth and blend in nicely. Before the colors become light or dark, I gradually gradate the color. I don't just paint the dark or the light color directly. This one is a bit dark. This is pretty obvious that I applied some pressure here. Okay, we're almost done with this step. If you want the edges to be sharp, use a smaller brush to finish it up. Notice the brush on the left side. You'll see the size of my brush is around 30%. It is adjustable though. Often change your brush size according to the area you're going to paint. We've got it! Before we move on to the white color, let me add more light to the petals. Choose the light pink color, brighten it, and let's do it! Just like what we did earlier, highlight it where you want it to pop, put darker color where you want it to dent. I'm adding more pink color here to make it dent. You haven't forgotten our lesson, have you? Select a color, brighten it up, highlight the petals where it's bright. These curves look nice. Try to observe the original and try to play around and have fun with it. We're adding some to the edges. Make thick lines and blend. Just follow along or try checking the original picture. Put brighter color where it's exposed to the light. Don't overdo it though. You don't want this to cover all the colors we did in the previous steps. Be gentle. Again, try not to cover everything we did earlier. Be careful. If you want to try a smaller brush, feel free. As you can see, the petals look more realistic now. They're not just flat colors anymore. At this stage, I'm basically just highlighting wherever I want. Make some streaks so our flower will have dimensions and look realistic. Put some lines here. Observe the original picture. Add some highlights to the bright areas to give more dimensions to it. Keep going and I'll see you at the next step. Oh, let me add something here. I'm going back to the detail layer to add a little pink here. It's almost 100% done. Let's add white color. Choose the white color followed by choosing the Freya Copic fine tip brush. And add it to the beige parts we did earlier. Just add it in some parts. We're not trying to cover everything with white. We'll emphasize only in some areas and leave some streaky lines here and there, so it won't look flat or plain white. Again, try to brush it in one direction and apply pressure. Release pressure. You can adjust your brush size and emphasize the edges to make it clearer. You can see that I'm really focusing on the edges. Apply pressure in some areas, go gentle in others. We're almost done with our Lewisia's petals. See, it's not that difficult. You just need patience and correct guidance, and of course, practice. You can check the original picture again. Apply the white color on the bright areas. I'm now emphasizing the bright parts and the edges along the petals. We'll just keep this going until it's finished. We will be painting the pollen in the next chapter. This petal has some obvious white areas. Just apply the pressure and release it. Add a little more at the end. And we're finally done with our Lewisia's petals, but we still have the pollen to do. Let's move on to the next episode.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like or leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. As a thank you, loyal subscribers receive a 10% discount on my wildflowers in Procreate Volume 1. Check the description for coupon code. See you in the next video.